Every society has a ladder. Rome's ladder had a god sitting on top of it. This is every level of power in ancient Rome, from the absolute bottom to a man who was legally declared a deity. And you are going to climb all of it. Let's start where nobody wants to start. Level 1. The slave. You are not a person. You are a thing. That is not an insult. That is the legal definition. Under Roman law, you are res, property. You can be bought, sold, rented out, inherited, and gambled away in a dice game. Your owner can name you whatever he wants, and if he gets bored, he can rename you tomorrow. Roughly 1 in every 3 people in Italy is standing exactly where you're standing right now. And here is the strange thing about your position. You could be a broken man swinging a pick in a Spanish silver mine, breathing dust until your lungs quit. Or you could be the highly educated Greek tutor, teaching a senator's children philosophy, living in a nice room, eating well. Both of you are level 1. Both of you are furniture. But Rome does something almost no other slave society in history does. It leaves the door open. Level 2. The freedman. You saved for years. You did side work, and one day your master performed a ceremony, tapped you with a rod, and just like that, you are free. You are now a libertus, a freedman. And this is where Rome gets genuinely weird. You can vote, you can own property, you can get rich. Your old master is now legally your patron, and you owe him respect and favors, but you're a citizen. And your children will be born full free Roman citizens with no stain at all. In one generation, your bloodline goes from furniture to voter, and some freedmen do not just get comfortable. Some get monstrously rich because they hustle and trade while old aristocrats sit around pretending money is beneath them. But there is a ceiling above your head, and it is made of glass, and you will never break it. You can buy a mansion, you cannot buy respect. To the old families, you will always be the guy who used to be a chair. Level 3. The plebeian. You were born free. Congratulations, you are a regular Roman. You live in an insula, an apartment block. If you are poor, you live on the top floor, which sounds nice until you learn these buildings collapse and burn with such regularity that Romans just accept it as weather. The higher your floor, the poorer you are, and the harder it is to run when the stairs are on fire. But you have something real. You have citizenship, and Roman citizenship is a superpower. You get the grain dole, free food from the state. You get the games, free entertainment paid for by men who want your vote. And most importantly, you get legal protection that no one outside the empire has. There is a phrase you can say if a magistrate tries to have you flogged: I am a Roman citizen. And things stop. Your problem is simple. You have rights, but you have no money. And in Rome, money is the road to everything above you. Level 4. The Equestrian. You got rich. You now sit in the Equestrian orders. To get here, you need a fortune of 400,000 sesterces, which is a genuinely enormous pile of money. You wear a gold ring and a narrow purple stripe on your tunic, and everyone can see it from across the street. This is the business class of the empire. You run trade, you handle tax collection, you finance ships, and under the emperors, equestrians end up running some of the most important jobs in the empire because emperors trust rich businessmen more than they trust jealous aristocrats. You have real power now. What you do not have is the thing Romans actually worship: name, prestige, dignitas. For that, you need to go one level up, and that level is a knife fight. Level 5. The senator. You made it into the Senate. You need a fortune of 1 million sesterces to sit here. You wear the broad purple stripe. You have arrived at the level where actual history is written, but understand what you have walked into. The Senate is 600 of the most ambitious, competitive, vicious men on earth, all locked in one room, all descended from famous ancestors, all trying to outdo each other. And the Roman word for what you are all fighting over is dignitas. It means honor, reputation, standing, and it is more valuable here than money. Men will destroy themselves over it. There is a career track called the cursus honorum, and it is a brutal ladder inside a ladder. You climb through offices, each one costing you a fortune in bribes and games and favors, because Roman politics runs on debt. You borrow to buy an office. The office lets you loot a province. You use the loot to pay the debt and buy the next office. This is not corruption in Rome. This is the system working exactly as designed, and if you are very lucky and very ruthless, you reach the top of the ladder. Level 6. The Consul. You are one of 2 men who run the Roman Republic for 1 year. The consulship is the summit of Roman ambition. Armies march when you say march. The Senate meets when you call it. Time itself gets named after you. Romans literally date the year by whichever 2 men were consul. But look closely at the design here, because it is genius, and it tells you everything about the Roman mind. There are 2 consuls, not 1. Each one can veto the other, and you only hold it for 12 months. Why? Because Rome had kings once, and the memory of that is a scar. The single most terrifying word in the Roman political vocabulary is rex, king. Rome built its entire government around one idea. Never let one man hold power alone, so you have 12 months at the top and then you are just a senator again, watching someone else wear your crown. Unless, level 7, the Dictator. There is a hidden lever in the Roman Constitution, and it is meant for emergencies only. When the state is about to die, invasion, catastrophe, chaos, the Romans do something that contradicts everything they believe. They hand absolute power to one man, a dictator. No colleague, no veto, no appeal. But there is a leash on it, and the leash is time, 6 months. That is it. And the legend Romans tell each other is about a farmer named Cincinnatus, who was handed supreme power, saved Rome, and then gave it all back in 15 days. That is the story Rome tells about itself. Here's what actually happens to it. A man named Sulla takes the dictatorship and holds it with no time limit at all, then uses it to post lists of his enemies' names in the forum. If your name is on the list, you can be legally killed by anyone, and your killer keeps your property. Thousands die. Then, astonishingly, he resigns and retires. And then a man named Julius Caesar takes the lever and does not let go. Dictator for 10 years. Then, dictator for life. And that word, the one Romans fear more than any other, starts being whispered about him. They stab him 23 times in a Senate meeting. Level 8, the Emperor. Here is the trick that changed the world. Caesar's heir, Augustus, watched his adopted father get stabbed to death for looking like a king, so he learned the lesson perfectly. He did not take the crown, he gave power back. Publicly, humbly, he announced he was restoring the Republic. And then he quietly kept every single thing that actually mattered. He controlled the armies. He controlled the money. He controlled who got elected. He called himself princeps, just first citizen, not a king, just a guy. The most modest man in Rome, who happened to hold every lever of the state in his hands. Rome kept all its old furniture. The Senate still met. Consuls still got elected. The Republic still existed on paper. It just did not do anything anymore. You are now the emperor. You are the richest man who has ever lived. You personally own entire provinces, and a single sentence out of your mouth can end anyone in the known world. There's only one problem with your position, and it is a big one. There are no rules for how you got here, which means there are no rules for how someone takes it from you. Emperors die constantly, poisoned by their families, stabbed by their own bodyguards, murdered by the army when the pay is late. You have all the power in the world, and you cannot sleep. So how do you protect yourself when you are already at the top of the ladder? You go one level higher than any human is supposed to go. Level 9. The God. When an emperor dies, the Senate votes, not on his laws, on his species. They vote on whether he is now a god, and if the vote passed, it is official. He is Divus, a deity of the Roman state, with his own temple, his own priests, and his own sacrifices burning on an altar forever. Augustus got it. Claudius got it. The dead man is now legally divine, and at his funeral, they release an eagle from the burning pyre so the crowd can watch his soul physically fly up into the sky. This is the top of the ladder. This is the last level. You started as an object that could be traded for a mule, and you have finished as an object of worship, with people praying to your face in stone. But Rome, being Rome, keeps one final joke in its pocket. At his own deification, the Emperor Vespasian is lying on his deathbed, dying, about to be voted into godhood, and with his last breath he says, "Oh dear, I think I'm becoming a god." Because he knew. Every Roman knew. The whole ladder, the slave, the freedman, the citizen, the knight, the senator, the consul, the dictator, the emperor, the god. Every single rung of it was something people built, something people agreed to pretend was real. The power was never in the man. It was always in everyone below him, agreeing to look up.